Joshua, the last time you were here, you asked me to read Splat the Cat to you, but I didn't have the book at home anymore. So now that it's October, it's time to start reading Halloween books. And I've got a Halloween Splat the Cat called Scaredy-cat Splat. "Mom," cried Splat, "there's a scary spider on my jack-o'-lantern. He's small and hairy with really funny eyes." Splat's voice wobbled with worry. "But you're small and hairy with really funny eyes," said his mom. Splat thought for a moment. "But I haven't got 8 legs," he replied. "If you had, maybe you'd be a scary spider too," teased his mom. Splat made a scary spider face. Splat's mom caught the spider under a glass jar. Splat looked closely at the spider. It didn't look so scary now that it was trapped. "Can I take the spider to school for Halloween?" asked Splat. "We've all made jack-o'-lanterns and everyone is dressing up in costumes, and Miss Wimple-Dimple is going to tell a ghost story, and there's a prize for the scariest cat. I want to be the scariest cat. So please, can I take the spider to school? Please," he added, without taking a breath. "Okay," said his mom. "Where's your Halloween costume?" asked his mom. Splat pulled a broom from the closet and sat astride it. "Aha! Look at me. I'm a scary witch's cat," cried Splat, racing around the kitchen. You certainly are scary," said his mom. The word astride means to be across it, so he is sitting across his broom. Then disaster struck. Splat tripped over his tail, and with a crack, the broom handle snapped in two. His scary witch's cat costume was ruined. "Now I've got nothing to wear," Splat groaned. Even Seymour couldn't console him. I like that little Seymour mouse, don't you? Splat's mom had an idea. She stuffed some old socks with scrunched up newspaper and tied them to Splat with a string. "There," she said. Splat looked in the mirror and jumped back with a squeal. "Oh, I scared myself," he said. He looked again, and this time he smiled. "Look at me," he cried, waving his sock legs. "I'm a big, scary sock spider." Splat placed his jack-o'-lantern and spider on his wagon and set off to school. On the way, he met Spike, dressed as a mummy, and Plank, dressed as a skeleton. "They're pretty scary," said Splat. Seymour nodded and trembled a little. "But I'm scarier," said Splat. Splat made his scariest spider face and growled. "Rrr." Plank and Spike didn't even blink. Instead, "Boo," said Spike. "Boo," said Plank. Splat yelped and jumped high in the air and landed in a heap. "Ah," Splat sighed. "Spike and Plank are both scarier than me." Seymour nodded and trembled a little more. "I'll never win the prize for the scariest cat," said Splat. The sock spider, the skeleton, and the mummy continued on their way to school. In class, everyone showed their jack-o'-lanterns. Splat's jack-o'-lantern made everyone laugh. Aw, Splat sighed. I'll never win the prize for the scariest cat. Seymour shook his head. Everyone placed flashlights in their jack-o'-lanterns, and Mrs. Wimpledimple turned down the lights and whispered in her best ghost story voice. In the dark, dark woods, there's a dark, dark house. And in the dark, dark house, there's a dark, dark room. And in the dark, dark room, there's a dark, dark box. And in the dark, dark box, there's a ghost. Miss Wimpledimple cried, and the class jumped with fright. Splat was so startled, his tail whipped around and sent his jack-o'-lantern spinning through the air. And what goes up must come down. Splat. Unable to see anything, Splat stumbled around the classroom. Everyone shrieked as the Pumpkinhead glared at them and made strange hooing noises. Mrs. Wimpledimple turned on the lights and lifted up the wayward jack-o'-lantern. The shrieking turned to laughter as Splat fell out. Calm down, hushed Miss Wimpledimple. Now, class, who should win the prize for being the scariest cat? Joshua, who do you think's going to win the scariest cat? Splat! They all cheered. I love you guys. I'm going to be reading you another Halloween book before long. See you later. Miss you.